politics in the United States of America. The left has gotten really left, and the right has gotten really right. Everyone's towing the line, and we're getting nowhere. Fast. This is the Rational American. The Rational American. Common sense has gone out the window, and our passion is to open eyes in hopes that people will take a rational look at what America is actually becoming. Put your feelings aside and let's get real. This is the Rational American, and this is your host, Steve Oatley.
Whoa, I forgot to take that down, didn't I? Well, it's okay, whatever. Welcome to the show, everybody. What is it? I don't even know. It's Tuesday. It feels like it's a Friday. It's been a long-ass day. 2 days. It's just been long. You know, weekend. What is it even Tuesday? I don't even know anymore. Anyway, today is Tuesday, September 6th. It's currently 8:03 p.m. on the East Coast. If you're in California, who cares? Your power's probably going to go out. Eric Swalwell just tweeted a minute ago saying it's time to rally, California. We all need to do our part and help avoid power outages this week. Saying before 4 p.m., pre-cool your home. After 4 p.m., avoid use of major appliances and turn your thermostat to 78 or higher. And then he says, let's keep the lights on, California. Idiots. They're all stupid. These are the same people that are pushing for electric vehicles throughout the country, right? How? Tell me how you're going to charge your electric vehicle if there's not already enough sustainable power in the country. Oh my God, it's just so stupid. It's so stupid. Eric Swalwell's one of those big people that always talks about EVs too, isn't he? I don't know. I don't really listen to anything Eric Swalwell says because he's an idiot, just like the majority of these morons. Anyway, welcome to the show. My name is Steve. This is the Rational American. And yes, I'm rational, sometimes irrational, but I am an American, and I'm proud of it. And if you don't like it here, get the out. Is that too much? Did I overextend myself there? Was that too harsh? Well, good, because it should be, because our country's falling apart. Did you guys see this? This was just tweeted out not too long ago by Griffin saying, if you don't want a civil war, vote for Democrats in November. If you do want a civil war, vote Republican. Huh. What is she getting at? If there is indeed a red wave in November that the Democrats will take up arms and revolt against the Republicans? I don't know. You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like Kathy Griffin should be arrested. Because, well, there's laws that prohibit her from doing exactly what she just did. Let's start with just, the definition of terrorism. Does it fit here? The unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims. Oh, shit. This literally saying that if you don't vote Democrats, prepare for civil war is literally in the pursuit of political aims. Wouldn't you agree? FBI. I mean, you don't agree because, she held up a fake Donald Trump bloody head years ago and nobody did shit then. And you know what it is Kathy Lee Griffin. I don't know. Is she an actress or a comedian or I really don't know. I know she's been around for a long time and she looks stupid. She, I always confuse her with the Dick guy, Andy Dick. Right? Like, can you imagine if Andy Dick had red hair? He'd look just like her. It's very weird. It's very odd. I think they're brother and sister or mother and daughter or whatever. It's, daughter. I called Andy Dick a girl, whatever. He's a moron too. He's funny though. But I mean, clearly what she did meets the definition of terrorism, right? Because she is threatening the general population saying, if you don't vote Democrat and you vote Republican, and there's going to be a civil war. That's literally what her tweet says, or at least that's how I'm interpreting it. If you do want civil war, vote Republican. That means that, well, if you vote Republican, the Democrats are going to cause a civil war. Isn't that what that means? Does anyone take it any other way? Does it? Uh-oh, I guess it's freezing on Citizen Stringer. Hopefully it's not freezing everywhere else. But for Citizen Stringer, someone are saying it's freezing. So, but it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. And there's more though. It's not just that. Let's go over to FBI.gov, the website that's full of morons. Anyway, if you go to the FBI.gov/scams and safety /common scams and crimes /election crimes and blah, it's too long of a web address, so I can't get there. Election crimes and security. The FBI says fair elections are the foundation of our democracy, and the FBI is committed to protecting the rights of all Americans to vote, or so they say. And then it says election crime is generally a federal crime if the ballot includes one or more federal candidates, which it does in a general election, or in a midterm election. The election or polling place official abuses their office. The conduct involves false voter registration. The crime intentionally targets minority protected classes. Well, yeah, I mean, we're not protected. But wouldn't you say MAGA is a minority? Isn't that what the White House keeps saying to everybody? They're the minority. The majority of Americans don't believe in this. The majority of Americans want the right to be able to go and kill the unborn. The majority of Americans don't mind paying for other people's student loans when they don't pay their bills. The majority of Americans want Medicaid for all and free education and handouts and don't want to work and just want to be lazy. That's what we always hear from the White House every single day, right? So, and we're not protected though, right? It's not, but definitely they say we're a minority class, so, whatever. And the activity violates federal campaign finance laws. Those are the three things. Now, one of the things that's kind of interesting is one of the qualifiers for election fraud or election interference is what's called voter suppression. Intentionally deceiving qualified voters to prevent them from voting is, voter suppression. And it's a federal crime. So what are you trying to say? Like if you tell people, a qualified voter, that they have to vote Democrat, otherwise they will die, because that's what they're insinuating. Well, wouldn't that be called voter suppression? Because what if someone stands up for their rights and now is afraid to go vote, but they don't want to vote Democrat, so you are effectively suppressing that vote. Arrest Kathy Lee Griffin, FBI, if you're watching. Do your fucking job for once. And here's my thing. Excuse my language, by the way, kids who shouldn't be watching this show anyway. I don't have a bone to pick with FBI agents. I have a bone to pick with the FBI as an organization as a whole, because they are corrupt. The organization, not the agents themselves. I used to have family when I was a little kid. I don't know who the hell it was. I think it was my step grandmother's son so my step grandmother's son-in-law was an FBI agent. I remember he had to take off his gun when he came into the house and all that stuff. But that was years ago. That's the only FBI agent I've ever met in my life. And when I say years ago, I was like a toddler. I was very small. I don't remember anything other than the fact that he had some little badge. And I was like, that badge is really small. I don't know. It's weird. But by all this, by everything I just said, doesn't it? Don't you think there are grounds to arrest Kathy Lee Griffin for being an idiot? I do. But you know what? I'm just some guy sitting in my mom's basement. Not really. I wish. I'd rather be in a basement than this nice warehouse where I have to work. I'm confined to this warehouse every single day now. I got up this morning. I had to sleep on the couch last night. My back was all sore because one of the little guys was sick, right? And then it turns out, so let's just segue right into the next show, the next topic, shall we? So I was sleeping on the couch, right? And it took me a while to get to sleep because I was listening to Chris WYSIWYG TV on YouTube, and you guys kind of lost it there. And no offense, Chris, I know you're a big fan of this show, and I'm a fan of you. I don't know what the F drugs you were on last night, where you're defending, saying you'd rather stand next to a pedophile than a liar. That's what? You can't really make that up. But yeah, that's what was said. But anyway, he had Santa on, and Santa proceeded to lie about the 1776 movement and their goals and the cultish, activities that they go. Anyway, and they wouldn't let me on the show. I tried to come on the show. Everyone's like, no, Steve doesn't want to come on the show. Steve was in hold for a long time. Remember all those times that he kept deleting the phone calls? That was this guy trying to get in there because I wanted to ask Santa why he allowed pedophiles into a movement and then says, wait, Americans should be supporting it. Well, we don't support pedophiles. I'm sorry. And if you do support pedophiles, even once in your life, if you support a pedophile, you are not an American. You are a scumbag. You are the same. You are, to me, you're on the same level as a pedophile. But that's just me. Anyway, I digress. So I was laying on the couch last night, finally fell asleep, woke up bright and early this morning, had a cup of coffee, had a bagel with cream cheese, and I started on my drive. Had to go back to the store first to get some scissors because I forgot them and a box cutter because I had a lot of boxes in the back that I had to cut up. And I proceeded to work. But before, and I just skipped the whole part that I was trying to talk about. So before I'm having the cup of coffee with my wife, I'm sitting there. I'm not a big fan of talking in the morning. I just like to enjoy the coffee because it's the best coffee you've ever had. And we this morning, I think we're drinking Victory or Death. Best. That's a really good roast. I was really happy with it. So anyway, we're sitting there talking, and then she made the decision that, well, actually, the kid had a fever yesterday, so she was going to stay home anyway. But then she's telling me about this threat. So my wife is a teacher, for anyone that's just tuning in and you're unfamiliar with what she does. Well, she's a teacher. And around 7:45 last night, she got a message that was just for teachers in her little school district saying that a student, well, they actually, yesterday, they didn't even know. There was some perceived threat at the school. They don't know what the threat was about. And they're sorry, they're going to have a big staff meeting in the morning, and there's going to be a much larger police presence at the school. Keep in mind, this is a middle school, right? So in the morning, my older boy who goes to school, I was preparing to drop him off at school because he's a football player. He doesn't want to miss school. He's got all his football friends and all that stuff. He had a little scratch in his throat, right? But typically we're the type of parents, unless you're running a fever or coughing or snotting all over the place, you're going to school, right? And because I can't verify that he actually had a scratchy throat, you know what I mean? It wasn't red or anything like that. So I'm like, yeah, you're going to school. Then my wife gets a call because she's already called out. She had to call out because, well, the other guy had a fever last night, and that's procedure and protocol. She gets a call from one of the other teachers, and then they go on to describe this threat. Now, they're not saying whether it was a student or anybody, but apparently, this is my inclination, is that a student posted a picture of a gun on social media, on Snapchat, yesterday around lunchtime, or yesterday at some point, and said that around lunchtime he was going to shoot up the school. This is a middle school, my kid's school. So ultimately, I made the decision to fuck no, my kid's not going to school. So, and because my wife was already there with the other boy, I was like, he's staying home. He said he had a sore throat, so we'll treat him like he's sick. No video games all day, and he has to stay in his room. I don't understand. And so I'm going to rant a little bit for a second because this shit doesn't make any sense. Okay? I don't understand why, when there's a school threat like that, right, where a student is threatening to kill other students, why they don't come out in the open with it and tell parents. Because here's the thing, all right? My wife works at the school. My son goes to the school. We don't know if this crazy ass shithead kid is in their class. Okay, so they posted something on social media. Maybe now they have some police involvement, right? What's going to stop this kid from going in and doing something stupid later on? And he now knows, don't post it on social media. I just don't understand, because she doesn't even know who the student is. Obviously, the other students, and they call it confidentiality. They call it confidentiality, that schools will have threats, and it's happened all over the place. There's threats and lockdowns at schools all the time. Strasburg High School canceled their opening football game because of threats that were posted on social media. There's threats all the time at these schools because, well, there's no repercussions for it. Here's what I think they should do. And all you school board members, I know we got one that's watching, this is what you should do. You should advocate for the release of the child's name who is threatening to shoot the school up. You should also advocate for the release of the parent's name. And I know a lot of you disagree. And I've gotten some hate mail from my not hate mail, but comments on my Facebook post this morning where it's like, I had bad apple kids and I can't be held responsible for them being bad. And the sure as fuck you can't. I was a single mom. I had to take care of my kids, blah, 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 while going to school. I couldn't be there at all the times. Well, listen, you have a job. Your job, before anything else, as soon as you decide to make that little bundle of joy in your belly or bundle of evil, whatever the case is, you have a job. Your job isn't going to pay the bills. Your job isn't going to work every day. Your job isn't going out and drinking with friends. Your job is to be by that kid and supervise that kid until they're 18 and you can evict them. Every single thing that they do, every look they make, every girl or guy they like, every single choice that those kids make down to the color of their socks should be run by you as a parent. Because you need to know what your kids are up to. You need to. Because if you miss those signs because you're too busy going to work or too busy doing this, I would take, if it was up to me and I was the a-hole of a man that I want to be right now, I would force my wife to quit her job. I would sell my house and I would buy some land and I'd come here every day and they'd be restricted to the land and never allowed to go anywhere else, because I don't like the fact now that my kids are going to go to schools and that my wife is going to go to school, and there's some kid who I don't know, it's out of my control, that she doesn't know, and she's supposed to go back and just teach these kids. For her, it's nothing. I just don't understand it. And I don't understand why they don't publicly release the information. It's the safety of the children. They say out of an abundance of caution, there's going to be a dramatic increase in the amount of police there. Okay, well, why don't you actually solve some of those issues by releasing who the kid is? And when I say releasing the parents, yes, because that parent needs to know that now they are forced to do their job, because every other parent knows that they're not doing their job adequately and their kids are threatening to shoot up schools. And I know people may disagree, but I have a really hard stance on parenting. I do. I believe, remember that 13-year-old that was shot when he fired a gun or aimed a gun at a Chicago police officer? Remember, he was fatally shot and killed. I think his parents should be charged. I think any kid who commits a crime, the parents should be held responsible. And trust me, because the parents are not doing their job. Yes, the kid has some sort of responsibility for being a bad kid, but parents also have a responsibility to teach the children, to educate the children, to protect the children. And I think right now what schools are doing as a whole, and we're not even talking about any of the CRT shit or none of that stuff, erasing history, none of that. We're talking about the sheer fact that the students, while they are there in a school, they are supposed to be protected. We've learned from other mass shootings across America, they're not. They're not protected in schools. Yes, you can drill it all you want, but if you still have kids going on social media threatening to shoot up schools and there's no punishment for it. Do you know what the punishment is for a kid going to shoot up schools? Like, truthfully, a kid threatening to shoot up schools. You know what the punishment is for that child? Therapy. You know what the punishment is? Maybe he's kicked out of school for a little bit. You know what the punishment is? He gets special treatment. He gets the attention that he craved from teachers, from school, from educators, from therapists, not from his parents, because they're not embarrassed because they haven't been publicly humiliated. It is my opinion. And the same thing would go if my kid was ever so stupid enough to commit a crime at school. It should be like, do schools still do like school newspapers and stuff? It should be there every day. Today, Riley, blah, 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 did this at school. That's what it should be. Because that's how you teach kids not to commit crimes. That's how you teach kids not to reoffend. With that embarrassment. Kids want to be liked. They want to be, I don't know. It pisses me off. And I know many of you, and I'm not reading the chat if you can't tell. I'm not reading the chat at all because I don't want to get pissed. And I know many of you guys will disagree with me. And frankly, I could give two shits. I think when a kid commits a crime or when a kid, how can anyone say that the parents are there all the time? If your kid feels like he wants to go shoot up a school, you are not doing your job as a parent. I'll say it as straightforward as that. You are not doing your job as a parent. Everyone always wants to blame the kids. What about blaming the parents? You know, I never understood that. And some do. Like there was the Oxford, Michigan shooting. Remember that one? They charged the parents for buying the gun because this kid was a nutbag. They charged the parents for that, but those parents showed attention, but not even the correct attention. When there's warning signs and they don't do anything, almost all of these mass shootings that occur in schools, which there aren't very many, even though the mainstream media talks about it like it's a pandemic. It's not. But there's, you have to be honest and say there's definitely an increase in these mass shootings. And what is the reason for it? Is it because, well, they're playing crazy, violent video games? Or is it because they don't have parents that give a fuck about them at home? That aren't asking where they're going? That aren't paying attention to what they're watching online? That aren't, you know what I mean? It's my personal belief that if you hold those parents to account, it's going to scare the shit out of the other parents that aren't doing their job. You know what I mean? That aren't doing their job as a parent. Because no matter what your scenario is, your job, your primary, so your only focus in life is to provide a safe, comforting home for those kids. And that's it. There's no other job that a parent has that trumps that, you know? And I know a lot of you guys could be arguing saying, Steve, you work like 80 hours a day. I also got a wife that gives a shit more than not more than me, but you know what I'm saying. She cares a lot about my kids as well. And she's not as like hardcore as I am, but you know, I'm a little strict. But we don't spank our kids or anything like that in our house either. We just don't believe in it. You know? But it's weird. Erdum made a good comment saying, we are all products of our environment. That is true. And if you live in a shitty environment, you're likely going to be a shitty person. Unless you decide to change and decide to make yourself a better person. But anyway, that's my little rant for the day. Have you guys seen DeSantis's new ad? Look at this. And we don't play political ads on the show that much because I don't want to give the impression that we're endorsing particular candidates. But watch this ad. This is a good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, Governor Ron DeSantis.
Today we deliver for the people of Florida yet again.
You saved our jobs.
And kept us going.
They tried to shut us down, but you saved our business.
$1,000 bonuses.
You had our backs.
And honored our service.
You led by facts, not fear.
And you let us decide.
You let me go to school.
You gave me a voice.
You put us first.
And didn't let them keep us apart.
You let us learn.
You let us compete.
All of us.
You protected our right to worship together in person.
And you raised our pay.
You protected our waters.
And kept Florida beautiful.
When they attacked you, you didn't cave. You stood strong for Florida.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Governor.
Gracias, Gobernador DeSantis.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor DeSantis.
I thought that was an interesting one. And I saw it and I was like, you know, I need to play it because it does, like if you reverse it all, you know what I mean? Like you locked us down. You did this, you did that. You didn't keep us safe. Like that's literally America right now across the country. So you have one state where it seems like they're actually doing their job as legislators, you know, as politicians. So it's funny. I guess maybe that's just because the way I think. So I think of it backwards. So when I was listening to it, I'm like, that's a good representation of what's wrong with America right now. Because it's almost like they're thanking someone for doing their job. Because if he didn't do their job, they'd be like any other state in the country. Do you know what I mean? Which it's kind of weird when you think about it like that. But that's one of the reasons why I wanted to play it. Because when you pay attention to everything that goes on in this country, sometimes it's hard to understand just how batshit crazy people have become. And speaking of batshit crazy, did you guys watch the coronavirus press briefing thing today? Yeah, it was. There's some big news that came out of that. Here's one of the doctors that's on this coronavirus task force speaking highly of boosters and what he believes, or the reason why he believes God gave all of us 2 arms.
I really believe this is why God gave us 2 arms, one for the flu shot and the other one for the COVID shot.
It's so freaking nuts. That was real. That's not even made up. That's real. You know what else is real? Remember, everyone's like, oh, you're just 2 shots. Then now it's just a booster, the 2 boosters. Well, listen to what Fauci Ouchie is saying now, because he's on his way out the door, but he's not going to let you forget him ever, ever.
It is becoming increasingly clear that looking forward with the COVID-19 pandemic, in the absence of a dramatically different variant, we likely are moving towards a path with a vaccination cadence similar to that of the annual influenza vaccine, with annual updated COVID-19 shots matched to the currently circulating strains for most of the population.
Yes, you did hear him correctly. And again, I'm not faulting anyone for getting vaccinated. That's your own choice. My wife is vaccinated. It was her choice. But now Fauci is saying, which is so crazy when you think about everything, because Fauci is now saying that there's going to be annual boosters, or that's the direction that the CDC and NIH in China is leading, in all these big pharmas, which is really funny, right? When you think about it, Joe Biden has gone on the campaign trail today. He made a bunch of different statements, cheering on the fact that he is taking on big pharma. He made a pledge years ago he was going to take on big pharma. I talked about it real briefly yesterday. He's taking them on, all right, and making a boatload of money for all of his Democrat politicians that own stock in this big pharma. Like, he's saying, oh, we're doing all this stuff. Who do you think makes the vaccines? Who do you think got billions and billions of dollars? Big pharma. Like, nobody, people don't pay attention. They're like, oh, yeah, Joe Biden, he's knocking the prices and sticking it to big pharma. No, he's not. Because all the while, they're like, hey, let's negotiate this, right? That's what Biden's doing. Not Biden, because he's stupid, and it's not him, but it's other people. They're like, all right, so like, imagine this is them negotiating at the table, right? So imagine I work for the Biden administration. All right. So we're going to tell the American public that we're going to reduce, that we forced your hand, and we're going to reduce the amount that they have to pay for insulin. Well, now this is a big pharma camera right now. Well, what do we get from it? Oh, big pharma, don't worry. What you'll get is annual COVID booster shots that the government will pay for, almost subsidizing the costs that you're going to lose. In fact, probably making you more money than you're going to lose by reducing pharmaceuticals. Well, that's great. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. And everyone's like, nobody's really calling him out on it. No one's really calling it out. Like, he's like, yeah, we took on big pharma. Like the other day he yelled, pharma! Ah! And I'm like, no, you didn't. You gave them billions and billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. Remember the baby food shortage? The company that owns the baby food manufacturer that the FDA shut down? You know why they shut down their plants? Because they were getting paid billions and billions of dollars to make COVID tests. Yes, and it's all public. All the information is available. Nobody cares. I reported on it. I wrote articles about it. I talked about it on the shows. The one company, and I forgot what it is, something manufacturing, they are funded by so many politicians, both on the right and left. They're all corrupt as shit. But I would love for like a Democrat that's sitting at home. I don't give a shit whether you're boosted, twice boosted, triple boosted. You got, snuck in and got some extra shots on the side, right? I don't give a shit. But it would be nice for them to be like, you know what? Joe Biden's lying. Like, he's lying. Like, yes, I believe in the vaccine booster, all that stuff. Like, if you're a leftist moron. But to believe that Joe Biden is taking it to big pharma while his chief COVID bozo is sitting out there saying you're going to have to get your annual boosters just like the flu. See, and a lot of people are like, well, I've never gotten the flu shot anyway, so I'm not going to do that. Right? But there's a difference. Because now, in order to do certain things, in order to go certain places or to interact in certain places, people are requesting that they are able to see that you're vaccinated for COVID, even though all the lockdowns are done, even though nobody gives a shit. You know what I mean? Even though, like, every now and then everyone gets a scratch in their throat and they're like, oh my God, I have COVID. You know, I had a bad case of a stomach thing this morning. I even turned to my wife and I'm like, hey, babe, I got COVID. She's like, no, you don't. You have lactose intolerance. And I'm like, yeah, I do. Sorry, I just might as well say it's COVID. Like, oh shit, my arm cramped. COVID. Like, I've got an ingrown toenail. COVID. That's just sad. It's sad. So many people don't care. So many people don't care. But there's been a lot of different, Joe Biden's been on the campaign trail for quite a bit today. Now, he was out in Pennsylvania talking to steel workers with John Fetterman, who's running against Dr. Oz. Oh, by the way, I put out a video today, or a short little thing on Twitter, kind of a rebuttal, because I'm changing the tagline of Citizen Stringer. It's now, instead of real news by real people, I'm changing it to where fake news goes to die. Because that is now my quest for Citizen Stringer, is to just be brutally honest, the same way I typically am with everything, about every single fucking news story. I've realized I just don't care. I don't care to have 50,000 viewers on YouTube or any of that shit. I'm going to get banned anyway. I want to be honest. And that's what I've said for a long time. So that's the new slogan for this channel, for Citizen Stringer. It's where fake news goes to die. Because if we talk about it, it means it's fake. Or it means that, we're providing you the actual context to something. Like, for example, this shitty news outlet I've never heard of, Jezebel, or a magazine or something. Obviously, they're super partisan. Well, they wrote a hit piece on Dr. Oz because apparently and I don't like Dr. Oz. I don't think he's a conservative. I don't think he's a Republican. I think he is pretending to be one in order to get into Washington and do stuff. And I know everyone's like, well, you got to stand behind Donald Trump's endorsements. The fuck I do. I'm an American. I'm not, just going to blindly follow anyone. And Dr. Oz gives me the creepers. I just don't like him. I think he lies. With that said, this Jezebel and this one account on Twitter that had this thing, guys, it's like no lie with so-and-so. And he tweets out that Dr. Oz said that his daughter wasn't sexually attracted to him because of the way he smells, which is not at all what he says. If you listen to the whole, clip of the podcast where they're talking about it, apparently someone called into the Breakfast Club back in December of 2014, where Dr. Oz was all doing his television stuff, being a doctor and all that. And they asked him a question about sleeping with a cousin or something. And Dr. Oz, a doctor, gave a medical, answer. And saying, well, if it's as long as it's not a first cousin, because they're talking about medical defects. But what they did is they tried to say that Dr. Oz said it's okay to sleep with your cousins. And by the way, that Dr. Oz was mad that his daughter wasn't attracted to him or won't have sex with him, is what they wrote in their art. The most revolting bullshit and they're probably not journalists, you know what I mean? But that's such a bullshit, like. They're not even trying to be even slightly unbiased. They're just not. And again, for the record, I don't like Dr. Oz. I don't trust him. I think he is not a good representation and will not be a good representative for conservative policy. That's my belief. I think he's a fake. And I'm allowed to think that because I have, opinions. But I don't understand why they just make shit up. I really don't. It's not even that they take it out of context. They literally just make shit up and say, oh, well, what he meant was, it's like CNN saying people familiar with their mindset, people familiar with the mindset of the people that are familiar with the mindset have confirmed to us that Donald Trump called our military losers and suckers. And it doesn't matter that all 19 people that were with him that day all said it's complete and utter bullshit and it never happened, including the service members that were sitting right next to him. They don't even care. There's no retraction for it. They don't even care about actually reporting anything honest anymore. MSNBC today. saying that Donald Trump sold the locations on Joy Reid's show, and then saying, well, no, we're not saying that he did, but what if he did? Saying that they sold the locations of CIA agents, and then the CIA agents died as a result. Insinuating that Donald Trump, his classified documents, that he leaked it. And you know what they did? I tweeted this out as well. Do you know what they did, which was really clever, right? Except it's not clever at all. They changed the fucking date on the paperwork, on the tweet. No joke, they really did. They changed the date. And nobody caught it. As a lot of people were being critical of it, but nobody caught it. Watch, I'm gonna show you. Hold on, I'm not prepared for this. So look, this is my Twitter page. We published the article, Did Trump Have Information on Our Nation's Spy Network in 43 empty file folders? Seized, blah, blah, blah. Look at the headline. This is a real article, mind you. Captured, killed, or compromised. CIA admits to losing dozens of informants. You probably can't see the date here. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Oh, shit. What's that date? October 5th, 2022. Wait a second. How is that possible? How is it October 5th, 2022 when it's September 6th, 2022? Now you could say, well, that was just oversight, right? Right? They were replicating it and screwed it all up. No, what they did is they took an article from October 5th, 2021, and they're trying to apply that to Donald Trump and the documents now. So they literally on MSNBC made it up. It's fake. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. This tweet should be viral. It's got 4 likes and 2 retweets. Because again, nobody cares. It's Donald Trump. Nobody wants to talk about Donald Trump. Let's just believe it. Even Fox News was saying, what if you tried to sell the nuclear codes to an adversary? It's what gets them the press. It's what it's getting them. And apparently MSNBC is happy with having some shitty journalist that's just going to, is she a journalist? Someone that's just going to blatantly lie to the viewers every single day. And it's disgusting. There's no other way to say it. It's just disgusting. But, we bring the receipts here. So you saw the receipts. You saw what I just showed you there. Captured or killed or compromised. They literally changed the date. They changed the date, and it doesn't matter. Like, this should be on Fox News right now. Joy Reid on MSNBC is in the headlines again for being an idiot. And I gave the benefit of the doubt and said it was her crew in the background, right? Because you have to understand MSNBC likely doesn't have a lot of, viewers. You know what I mean? Probably more than me. I'll give them that. They got more than I do. But they don't have a lot of viewers, and especially not a lot of rational speakers, right? So they don't care. They don't care. Just lie, make up stories, the National Enquirer. Is that what MSNBC is short for? I don't know. It pisses me off. And Joy Reid every single day on the readout, she's just making these craziest accusations ever. She's a racist. She's a bigot, based on my opinion. And now she's also, responsible for the forging of New York Times headlines and the dates. I don't know. It's just absolutely crazy. You know what else is crazy? Check out this sick-ass commercial I made. Well, hello there. My name is Steve, and I have something important to tell you. Consider it a public service announcement or whatever you want it to be. Did you guys know we have a coffee shop and a store and a bunch of other stuffs in an effort to try to be able to do everything we do here on the news side, right? Yeah, well, it's become that time of the month where we have just released our October pre-sale for our mega boxes. Now, let me tell you a little, you know what? Let me show you what a mega box looks like. As you can see here, you get some of the best t-shirts, some of the best hoodies, some of the best drinkware, 2 bags of the best damn coffee you've ever had. And guess what? There's more. One lucky winner wins a 55-inch flat screen TV. And for what's different than what we've done before, the October boxes, you get a double entry into our massive October 1st giveaway drawing, where we're giving away a trip for 2 nights to Key West, Florida. Yeah, we're doing it. Why? Because we can. Now, it's super simple. All you have to do is go over to puretruthcoffee.com, go over to the menu tab, click on Megabox, add that sucker to cart. You might as well add some coffee too and all that good stuff. Add a t-shirt, add some stickers, whatever. And then check out. Here's the best part. There's so many best parts to the best part. You can also finance that sucker with Shop Pay. 4 easy payments. What are you waiting for? Go over to puretruthcoffee.com. Pick yourself up a Megabox. Now I'm fading to black because it's sick. I crack myself up. Like when I watch some of that shit back, believe it or not, I did that all in one take. Editing took longer than it took to make that video, and I messed up the editing because apparently I put the picture in the wrong section. But yeah, go over to puretruthcoffee.com and pick up your mega boxes now. Teresa said, got my August box today. The coffee is so good and the shirts rock. You should be charging more. I thought about that, but the goal is not to. For every mega box that I make a little bit of profit, and that money goes to just keeping us open. I make, when I sell the coffee and the shirts and everything individually, that's where the profit for the coffee company. The mega boxes, to be honest, fund this show. The mega boxes are funding Citizen Stringer. So when you buy one of those boxes, you know that your money is going to making this show possible. It's going to making sure that we're having news and all that stuff on Citizen Stringer. So if you haven't picked one up, and these are not the August boxes, I know there's some confusion because the August boxes were delayed. They're all out now. UPS finally picked them up after I had to pay for the pickup twice. The August boxes are all out now, and that's why people are posting the photos on social media and stuff, because they're awesome and everyone's happy, which is great. The September 15th boxes obviously are going to ship around September 15th, which is not today. It's September 6th. You may, but that may be delayed too, because there's a Trump rally in Ohio that I've decided I'm going to. And if they don't let me in, they don't let me in. I'll get interviews and shit on the outside of that damn thing. And we'll put some coffee out there. I'll set up in a parking lot if I have to. I don't care. I will take a foldable tent, put it on my back with the coffee maker and say, come get your free coffee. But yeah, that's I think it's Columbus or Cleveland or something. Martha sent it to me and I don't remember where it was, but, or when it was. But you know what? I think it's not this Saturday. It's the following Saturday. So this Saturday, we're going to be at Freedom Fest in Kentucky. And so hopefully you guys are all going to that and we'll be able to see there. And, I'll do some fist bumps and stuff for you guys. I'm going to have a ton of shirts. That's what I'm doing all day tomorrow is printing all the shirts, all really great designs. And I'll make a promo video of me printing them and dancing to metal for all of you guys. That'll air tomorrow night. So that'll be nice. Brad said it's in Youngstown, Ohio. Okay, that's where it is. So we'll be out there for that as well. And because I want to talk to people. I want to be around those people. There's something about going to a rally that makes me happy. The speeches are all kind of the same. Actually, this last speech was pretty good. It was different because he had a lot more to talk to. Someone said, obtain APA credentials no, we have credentials. We are a news organization. We credential ourselves. We used to get credentials to the Trump rally, and then they stopped. And I have a feeling it's about the same time that I started criticizing Republicans. I'm not saying that's why, but I'm saying that's why. It's because we are not the traditional conservative news outlet, because we'll criticize anybody who fucks up. Someone said, how did the coffee shop opening go? I pushed it back till October 1st because we just weren't ready. It takes a lot to open a store because and when I say a lot, it takes a lot of money, because I have to have full stock in there and all that. And now what we're doing is we're getting a different coffee machine. So the idea, we're still giving away free coffee every day, but then we're also going to sell $2 lattes, $2 cappuccinos, all that stuff, extremely cheap. But the regular cup of coffee is always going to be free. So it's going to be cool. Anyway, let's get back to the news. You guys ready for some more news? So there's quite a bit that I want to get to. The White House press conference today was a little weird, right? Because I don't know who it was, but they had some lady that was talking about the chips manufacturing. She's the secretary of something. She's talking about manufacturing chips here in the United States, and all these big, chip manufacturers have all signed on, and they're all going to get all this money, but no jobs are going to be added till the latter part of 2023. So you're not even going to be able to tell if this thing's working by the time Biden is long out of the office, and blah, blah, blah. And some of the reporters, I almost called them politicians. Some of the reporters were actually asking some decent questions like, well, is this even real? Like, how are you going to guarantee that these chip manufacturers follow through with what's said? Have any of them even signed on? Where is the money going? Like, they were asking some good questions. And she's like, well, the money's not going to go to the big guys for a long time. It's going to go to the smaller manufacturers, by the end, maybe third or fourth quarter of 2023. And I'm like, okay, so nothing's going to happen anytime soon. And all that money is just earmarked and going to be wastefully spent elsewhere, just like everything else in Washington. And then Karine Jean-Pierre repeatedly said the same thing. She's not going to talk about Trump. She's not going to talk, or the Trump raid. Obviously, she talks about Trump all the time. She did again today, saying the border, because I guess Ted Cruz invited Karine Jean-Pierre to go down to the border and see what's really going on, because she had previously said people are not crossing the border every single day, which they are. And we all know they are. So why she would even say it, I don't know. She's, with Peter Doocy the other day, she's like, that's not happening. And he's like, people are just walking across the border and not getting tested for COVID. That's not happening. And Peter Doocy's like, yeah, it is. And she's like, no, it's not happening the way you said. And he's like, okay, so what's happening? Next question, move on. And I tell you what, I think Karine Jean-Pierre is racist against Africans, because for the second day in a row, second press conference in the past, one of the past 2 weeks, it seems like reporters that are from Africa or Africa Today or whatever, she does not like them and does not want to call on them. And Jen Psaki did the same thing. They did not call on them much, and those reporters are left screaming in the background trying to get their questions in until they kind of force their question down the throat. But she said Peter Doocy, when he finally got his chance, because that's why everyone's watching. Everyone's watching these press conferences. The numbers of the White House press conference are actually going up now. They're getting maybe 2,000 live viewers, which is quite a bit more than they ever had, really. Long gone are the days of Kayleigh McEnany with the 50,000 people watching. That doesn't happen anymore. But some of the things that's interesting is I think the majority of the people wait for Peter Doocy with Fox News to get up there, because everyone knows he's going to drop like a bomb of a question. And today was no different. Because although she refused to talk about Donald Trump and the search at Mar-a-Lago and what the FBI involvement is, blah, 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 and that Biden didn't authorize them, she's not making any comments on that. But she did give an answer to Peter Doocy's question here.
The new attention on the MAGA Republicans. You tweeted in 2016 Trump stole an election.
I was waiting, Peter, when you were going to ask me that question.
Well, great. Here we go. You tweeted Trump stole an election. You tweeted Brian Kemp stole an election. If denying election results is extreme now, why wasn't it then?
let's be really clear. That comparison that you made is just ridiculous. I have been. Well, you're asking me a question. Yes. Let me answer it.
And you said it was ridiculous.
I was talking specifically at that time of what was happening with voting rights and what was in danger of voting rights. That's what I was speaking to at the time.
So let me get this straight. In America, it's okay to say that Trump stole an election, but if Trump questions the election or anybody else questions the election of 2020, well, it's blasphemy. Got it. Rules for thee, rules for thee, but not for me. Isn't that how the saying goes? I think it is. It's really quite sad that this is where America is, but there's not much we can do to change that. But every now and then I like to show something nice, something good, something worthwhile. And that's what we're going to do now. Beaverton, Oregon. Now, you may be familiar. There's always riots in Beaverton. We remember those riots, right? Well, Beaverton, Oregon, a police officer from Beaverton saved a man that was burning alive. Yeah. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, get up. Get up. Help me. Okay, let's try again. Get up. Go here. Let's go. Out, out, out. Over here. Got it out? Is it one out? Is him? Okay.
So I believe the backstory in that, and I may be wrong on this. I don't remember. Actually, I know how to tell. Actually, no, because we didn't have the whole article there, did we? Only the video, I think. Body cam. Yeah, he was a DUI suspect. DUI suspect that was rescued from the vehicle, which you saw. And I just think it's good because everyone always just talks shitty about police, right? They're always just being bad. They're always just shooting innocent people, blah, blah, blah. They're always just, exerting themselves in crazy ways. Well, man, some police are doing their job every single day. Most of them are. Almost all of them are. And this is just, one way to show that, I guess, which is why we did it. You know who's also doing his job? Where am I going with this? I just fucking had a brain fart. All right, so we we talked about the how Biden is traveling around the country, right? Doing these rallies. He did one today, Pennsylvania. He did one yesterday or the day before in Michigan or Wisconsin or something like that. I don't remember. Who cares? But it was kind of interesting because at one of the rallies, I think it was this weekend, counter-protesters, or a counter-protester, heckler, was in the crowd. Watch this video, and then, what is this one? Hold on. Yeah, that's the one I wanted to play. So yeah, watch this video. Tell me what you think.
No, 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 don't. No, 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 no.
That's not it. Sorry, this one.
All right, God love you. Let him go. Let him go. No, 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 don't. Let him go. Let him. Look, everybody's entitled to be an idiot. No, everybody's entitled. Okay?
I said I was running for 3 reasons. 1, to restore the soul of America. By that I meant decency, honor, meaning what you say, literally treating people with some respect.
Yeah. Treating them with respect. Put some respect on it. And then I found this video on social media, and I was like, yeah, I got to play it.
No, 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 don't. No, 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 don't. No, 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 don't. Let him go. No, 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 don't. No, 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 don't. No, 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 don't. Let him go.
It's crazy, right? It's just crazy. He's so batshit crazy, and he doesn't believe in anything he says. That's why he can call someone an idiot, just 2 years, not even 2 years after telling someone or telling the world that, he wants to unite this country. I don't get it. The mumbling doesn't stop, though. He mumbles incessantly. This was today at the press conference or at his little rally that he did with John Fetterman.
You know how much I'm going to do with the deficit this year?
Yeah. And then John Fetterman wasn't much better. How many of you guys have seen this video on social media? And trust me, you're going to lose some brain cells watching this.
Please understand the stakes in this race. Send me to Washington, D.C. so I can work with Senator Casey and I can champion the union way of life in D.C. Thank you very much, and it's an honor. I live 8 minutes away from here, and when I leave tonight, I got 3 miles away. Dr. Oz, in his mansion in New Jersey. You've got a friend and you have an ally. Send me to Washington, D.C. Thank you very much. Thank you, Steelworkers.
Like, my God, what the heck is going on? Maybe, like Donald Trump. Oh, God. Donald Trump set a precedent for like people that actually give a shit about America. Joe Biden set a precedent for the mentally challenged to run for office. And I don't know, like he had a stroke and all that stuff. And I'm not making, yeah, I am. The guy is a fucking Looney Tune and he shouldn't be running for office. Dr. Oz shouldn't be having, and God, like what are your choices there? You got Dr. Oz, who's like not really a conservative. And you got John Fetterman, who, does he even have a rational thought? There was something of him marching down and someone's like trying to ask him a question and his wife comes running over, just like Jill Biden does.
Please understand.
Just what Jill Biden does with Joe Biden. That's cool. How did I do that? Oh, I pressed enter, right? Or is it a number? I'm going to do that again. Nope. I don't even know how that works. What if I, nope. That's weird. I don't know why it does that, but whatever. Yeah, it's just really weird. It's just these people are all nuts. They're all nuts. There's no other descriptor for them. You know what else is nuts? Have you guys seen this video? And again, sorry for the audio people. You probably the video that I'm going to show now happened in New York City this weekend. That was just broad daylight in New York City. So for anyone that listens to the audio podcast and you have no idea what we're talking about, apparently this weekend, a very expensive Mercedes-Benz chased down a Toyota RAV4 in broad daylight in New York City, smashed into it, causing it to crash. Then a gunman got out of the vehicle and robbed the Toyota RAV4. Like that was like a 1990s, maybe 2000s, early 2000s RAV4. And that car, the Mercedes, and to be honest, it was probably stolen or something like that. That Mercedes is not a cheap Mercedes. It's like $100,000 vehicle. And to steal, according to what the NYPD is saying, is 20 grand, roughly 20 grand. There must have been more to it. They ended up taking a backpack or a bag or something that had like 20 grand. But isn't that insane? Isn't that insane? It's just like every day, something else makes you be like, that's like real life Grand Theft Auto. That's what I was supposed to play last night, but I forgot. I ran out of time. But my goodness. Speaking of running out of time, I went through this show way too fast. Anyway, I do have a promo, which is great because it's 3 minutes long. Now, this is not airing tonight, although it is on demand on Citizen Stringer. Tonight, because I didn't do a show September 6th, 2020, we are going to play the overnight portion because you remember September 5th, I was live for like 15 hours. So we're going to play the overnight, which is the massive riots in Portland that got pretty crazy. That's what's going to play tonight on Citizen Stringer. For anyone that doesn't know, we are doing this new thing where we're uploading about 40 hours worth of footage every day from our coverage in 2020. And we're uploading it to citizenstringer.tv where you can watch it on demand at your leisure. And following my show every single night around 9:30, we start the live feed and we replay that night 2 years ago's live feed. So sign up at citizenstringer.tv. And if you use code RIOT, you get 20% off your order. But here, enjoy this video. I actually got to go to the bathroom, so it works out perfect. I'll be right back. spray painting. Yeah, get her. Where are they all going? South again. So again, for anyone just watching, this is Seattle, Washington. They're actually fighting the cops. They just knocked that cop over.
The flashbangs are deployed. I've got hearing protection in now.
So for anyone that doesn't, these Seattle cops do not mess around, do they? Someone's actually going out of their way to send me emails. Go to a Riot and enjoy it. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. You know? Crazy stuff. That was, and it was weird because we were talking about that yesterday. We were talking where they blared the country music. And I didn't realize that the Seattle Police Officers Guild actually put out their own video. It was on YouTube. Put out their own video where they highlighted the music and all that stuff. And I think it's like Seattle Police Officers Guild hilariously trolls Antifa or something like that. That's what they titled it. It's got like 500,000 views. And rightfully so, because that's exactly what they did. They trolled Antifa. Now, what you didn't see is 3 Molotov cocktails were thrown at that building that day. Earlier in the morning, people drove up and attempted to burn it down. Later on in the day, they did it. And during the riots, they actually attempted to light it on fire. It was captured on body cam, or it was captured on surveillance camera outside that. So that video, I believe I did put it on demand. And if I didn't, I will put it on demand after. And that'll air tomorrow night after my show. You know what? I may not have. Oh, yeah, it's on demand right now, September 7th. So we did it a day early, but it's available on demand right now on citizenstringer.tv. You do have to be a member to watch it. That's an effort to allow us to keep providing the news. I know a lot of you guys are like, why are you charging for it? You did it for free. Because we need to stay afloat. We got to get creative on ways to stay afloat, because we don't just like sit here and beg for, an hour or two like everybody else. But that's that. What else? I guess I'll interact. I went through the show way too fast today. So I will just interact with the chat for the next 20 minutes or so before it kicks over on Citizen Stringer. And it goes, Someone said that was one of the funniest days. Whoa, that's the wrong one. That was one of the funniest days when they rode out to country music. Yeah, it was. And they were all the Antifa people were all caught extremely off guard because they had no idea. They knew that there were about 20 bike patrol agents there that were hidden behind the building. They didn't know that there were like 400 of them just down the road. So they definitely got surprised. But which is good. Someone else said Wizzy is back on live, continuing the conversation from last night. I could give two shits about it. But how's the house remodeling progressing? Well, see, we have this little thing called we didn't really fucking think it through before we moved to Virginia. Don't move to Virginia, guys. So at the end of this year, when I did my taxes, I owed a decent 5-figure amount to the IRS. So we've taken care of that. We bought the house, right? And we had to put money into the house, which the closing costs were way more. Down payment was more. Closing costs were more because, again, they didn't use my income when we bought the house. They only used my wife's income, but they used my money. Like, I don't know how that works. So I had to gift her the money, which is stupid. And because they used her income, we didn't qualify for as much. So I had to put way more money down to get the house. And then when we moved into the house, it still needs a new roof, but it needed to be remodeled inside, new wood, new paint, all that stuff. Because it's still rough. I hate the house, to be honest. I like spending my time away from the house. Just because it's very small. It's not even 1,000 square feet. And I'm a big dude. I like to stretch out. I like privacy. I like to sing in my house and stuff like that. I don't have it because it's small. It's just a very small house. But, we're going to do the roof and all that stuff. But the issue that I didn't pay attention to when we moved to Virginia is this personal income property tax, whatever the fuck it is, right? So you got your taxes on your home, right? And your regular sales tax and all that stuff. But then you also have to pay personal property tax on all your vehicles and all that. Except they don't actually care that you sold the vehicle. Like one of the vehicles I actually sold on January 5th, and they charged me, and I have to pay over $5,000 in personal property tax for that vehicle for the entirety of this year, even though I don't own the vehicle. Same with the trailer. The little concession trailer that I had, they appraised that thing way more than it's worth because the appraisals on used cars went up. So in all reality, we had a surprise bill that we were given 10 days to pay. In June, I think it was, whatever. We were given 10 days to pay the personal property tax, which surprised the shit out of me. And it was just not what we were prepared for. And then we have another 5 or so that we have to pay in December, which we are prepared for now. But then I just got a notice from the state saying that they've adjusted. And I told you, because we keep getting all these things, and I don't want to say I'm being targeted, whatever. But I just got a bill from this Department of Taxation saying I owe them $7,000 now. That instead of being, whatever it was, a couple of thousand that I owed them, for the taxes and that I paid, now I owe them an additional $7,000. And I tried to talk to the lady today after waiting all day on the phone and with the Department of Taxation. And I'll be honest, I lost my cool because she's like, whatever, you got to call back on this day. I'm like, lady, it took me 7 hours to get through to you today. What the hell is this? Well, I can't do anything about it. I'm like, it sucks, man. Someone said, no, you won't. They prorate it. They do not prorate it. Shenandoah County does not prorate taxes. Anyone can look it up if you want. They do not prorate it. It literally says it right on the tax bill. We do not prorate, which is the craziest bullshit ever. But yeah, I do. And we're looking too, because I'm like, let's just go buy a house in West Virginia. Let's sell this piece of shit that we bought. We can get a much bigger house anyway in West Virginia, and she could still commute to her work. And then we're looking at the West Virginia has personal property taxes too. I'll be honest, I've never lived outside of Virginia. I've never lived in a place that did it. Someone said, is the promo for September 7th up yet? No, it's not. It's not going to be up on YouTube until tomorrow morning because it's September 7th promo. I showed it to you guys a day early. But Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy? Like, I mean, it's all part of being an adult. Like, that's what I said to my wife today when I was having a mental breakdown. Because it's also like, I worked my ass off this weekend to put all the August boxes together, to print out everything, to get it all done. I paid for UPS $14 for them to come and do a pickup, right? They lost my pickup request in the interwebs. So they charged me for it, but they had no record of my pickup. So UPS comes. And I saw him and I was like, he's not stopping here. So I ran out and yelled at him or yelled to him. And I'm like, hey man, I've got a shit ton of packages. What's going on? And he's like, yeah, I don't have a pickup for you and I don't have the room. So you're going to have to do a pickup request and they'll route me back here this afternoon. So I had to pay another $14 and then they did come back and do it. So, which was nice. Deanna said, come to Chattanooga, Tennessee. You know, it's funny because I actually did almost moved to Chattanooga, Tennessee when I was working for a big freight broadcasting company out there. And something told me in the back of my head, I'm like, don't do it, Steve. Yes, they're offering you good money and all that stuff. Don't do it. So what I actually did is I worked out the contract where I wouldn't move for 6 months and they would cover my travel expenses. So I would drive up Sunday night from Florida, live in Chattanooga in like an Airbnb for 5, and I'd leave on Thursday. You know what I mean? Or so I'd leave Thursday night and drive back down to Florida and spend Friday, Saturday, Sunday day with my wife and kids and then drive back up. And I did that for like 8 or 9 weeks. And I was supposed to be on Sirius XM for one of their radio shows and they canceled on me. And I was like, you know what, fuck this. And then I got, I can't say what happened after. These damn non-disclosures. But great company. I like them. They're innovators, but I don't like working for people. I really don't. I like working for myself. I get let down when I put everything towards something and it doesn't work. I get let down. And unfortunately, if I'm putting everything towards something for somebody else and they cancel it, then I get pissed. It's not just let down. I get pissed. Yeah, I don't care about the Washington Post. The Washington Post is owned by Bezos. They're not real. April just sent me something, so I don't know what it was. The Washington is. Oh, so you guys were talking. See, like here's April. I try not to send him stuff during a live show. She's on the fence. You should have not sent it. April sent me something today saying, material on foreign nations' nuclear capability seized at Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. I don't believe any of this shit. I really, this is all citing non-official people. I don't care. It said, detail top secret U.S. operations so closely guarded that many senior national security officials are kept in the dark about them. But apparently this Devlin Barrett and Carol Lonig, reporters for the Washington Post, have access to it, have access to the information that even the most secure people don't. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Someone said Daily Wire reported that. Is that what they reported to? Here, hold on. Hold on. So the Daily Wire. So a new report published Tuesday evening revealed that federal law enforcement officials seized classified material on a foreign government's military defenses, as well as details on top secret U.S. operations during their raid on former Donald Trump's home. Yeah, they're citing Washington Post. The Washington Post reported that officials familiar with the criminal investigation into the former president's handling of the material said one of the documents recovered had information about a foreign government's military defenses, including nuclear capabilities. The report said that other documents recovered detailed top secret U.S. operations so closely guarded that many senior national security officials are kept in the dark about them, according to the Washington Post. Only the president and some members of his cabinet or near cabinet level officials could authorize other government officials to know the details of those special access programs. It goes on to say the Washington Post says that the type of documents that were seized are typically kept under lock and key in a secure compartmented information facility. And then it goes on to say that I'm replacing the word "the report" with the Washington Post, just so everyone has some sort of credibility. Because unlike what someone just said, this is not the Daily Wire reporting it. The Daily Wire is regurgitating the Washington Post, which is interesting because you would think they wouldn't do it, but whatever. It said the Washington Post says that the U.S. government has recovered more than 300 classified documents from former president this year, including documents that his legal team sent to the National Archives and Records Administration in January, materials handed over to investigators in June, and more that were recovered during the raid. Former attorney Bill Barr is an idiot. I don't care about him. Apparently, Fox News, John Roberts asked Barr if there's any legitimate reason for Trump to be in possession of the documents that were recovered during the raid. And Barr said, no, I can't think of any legitimate reason why he could have been taken out of the government, away from government if they're classified. I am frankly skeptical of this claim that I declassified everything because, and see, Barr, people are wondering if he's going to try to run for president too. Barr is a shithead too. They all are. All fucking politicians. They're all evil. Barr said the fact that things between Trump and the Department of Justice escalated to the point where the FBI had to conduct a raid to retrieve the material from former president likely indicates that they likely have pretty good evidence that a crime was committed, although his guess was just speculation, blah, blah, blah. And then it's just going on about his thing. So this whole thing is being regurgitated, this whole article. So what they did is this is the type of journalism we don't do either, mind you. You're never going to find this kind of shit on citizenstringer.com ever. Because what they're doing is they're regurgitating someone else's news article, and then they tack on an interview with Bill Barr, who's a moron, and then try to pass it as, because here's the title: Materials on Foreign Nations' Nuclear Capabilities, Top Secret U.S. Operations Seized During FBI Raid on Mar-a-Lago. The Daily Wire is looking for clips. They're looking for clicks. That's all they're looking for. They're a huge monetized page. This is what they need. I think it's interesting. Who owns the Daily Wire? Ben Shapiro, right? I think it's interesting that they're choosing to go after this. I wouldn't report anything the Washington Post reports, because they have zero credibility. But that's my belief. That's just my belief. Someone said this is out of date. Someone said, oh no. Freedom Flashpoint in the chat. What's up, bro? Said, been watching on my TV the last few weeks, but Mateo pulled down the TV and no more TV. Oh, it looks like you got to buy a mega box and enter in a chance to win a 55-inch flat screen TV. But glad you're doing well. We got to have you on the show soon, buddy, so you could talk about your new business. Someone said, it's been in all our chats and everyone was asking, that's why I went ahead and sent it. Gotcha. Wasn't the Washington Post the original reporter for the Hunter laptop? No, that was the New York Post, I believe. The New York Post. And I could be wrong about that. I have no fucking clue. I don't really care. But that's it. And Jennifer, you're not bad. And April, you're not bad for sending it. That's the thing. Do I know if the Washington Post made it up? No. Do I think there's a huge likelihood that they're getting fed bad information? Yes, I do. So do I think the Washington Post has any credibility whatsoever? No, I don't. That's just my opinion. You guys, opinions, like I said before, opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. Okay? So my opinion is that they have zero credibility whatsoever, and they all should quit their jobs. We should do marches outside the streets, yelling, chanting, quit your jobs. Jared Evacherera said, lock Trump up, lock Trump up, lock Trump up. Okay, so we got some of you guys, and you're fine. You're fine to be in here, Jared. I don't care if you don't like Donald Trump. You have to be realistic, though. That's what we are. We're rational. We just think. I'm not a huge Trump fan myself. I just think the guy is I think he's lying. I think they're lying through their teeth. Kate said, Steve, I know you don't want to talk about it now, but I sent you an email you should check out. Yeah, the Mawa School. I will check it out. I didn't. Make sure you send those emails, like if it's something worth reading or that you think we really should read. I'll be honest, I'm super busy doing everything that I do all the time, right? So what may be a good idea is... What? Deputy police chief shows up at Florida prostitution sting with White Claw, says Grady Judd. Is that real? Oh my God. But whatever. That's funny. Anyone that's having problems with your memberships, I'll fix after the show. But that's funny. Sorry, I was seeing some of these emails because I got a bunch of emails. Yes, they did find the body of Eliza Fletcher. There are new details that were released surrounding the abduction and murder of Eliza Fletcher, court records show. On September 5th, the Memphis Police Department and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, ATF, Homeland Security, and the Shelby County Sheriff's Office searched for Fletcher near East Person Avenue and Victor Street based on data collected by the FBI just after 5 p.m. yesterday. Agencies searched the area of East Person Avenue to the 1500 block of Victor Street. Officials walked around from East Person Avenue on Victor Street, and they noticed high grass south of the vacant residence in the 1600 block of Victor Street. According to the affidavit, officers noticed car tracks in the grass adjacent to the driveway, and the officer discovered the smell of a decaying body, which is pretty bad if you've ever smelled that. It's kind of unmistakable. Law enforcement from various agencies were near the location and canvassed the surrounding area just after 6 p.m. Detectives located a discarded trash bag about 100 feet north of the home on South Orleans Street, where officials earlier indicated Cleotha Abston had been with his brother. Now, Cleotha, and I'm probably saying his name wrong, Cleotha Abston is the man that's been arrested for killing her and abducting her. And it's crazy because he was actually locked up for nearly 20 years for kidnapping somebody else and forcing them to go empty their bank accounts and a lawyer, no less. And then what's even crazier is, because Memphis isn't really big, but it's not really small either. The lawyer that he was charged and served 18 years for kidnapping and robbing had connections to Fletcher's family. So this whole thing is just very, very weird. But apparently the woman was running. Fletcher was just running on this weekend, I believe, September 2nd, I believe. I think it was September 2nd. She was going for a jog around her home, and this guy pulled over in his SUV that belonged to somebody else, someone whose last name was Brown. I remember that. And kidnapped her. And apparently, I know they found her running shorts separate from her body, a little ways away from where they found her body. I know that. So I don't even want to think about what the scumbag did. And here's the thing, why buy? If you know this guy did it and he's admitted to kidnapping her and all that stuff, just put a bullet in his head and end it. Is that why? Just get rid of him. You know what I mean? That's my belief. Anyway, they researched surveillance videos during the time of the incident and discovered that a camera located in the 1300 block of Cummings Street captured the suspect's car exiting Interstate 240 at South Parkway's exit. The suspect car was then captured on camera located at Kerr Avenue and Clancy Street, traveling westbound shortly after. It then turns southwest on Havana Street and then turns onto Pearson Avenue a little bit later. Suspect Cleotha Abston now faces additional charges of first-degree murder and first-degree murder in perpetration of a kidnapping, according to MPD. He told the judge he cannot afford to make his $500,000 bond. He cannot afford an attorney, so he's going to have a taxpayer-funded attorney. That's what I'm saying. Wouldn't it just make more sense to put him down? According to authorities, sandals were found near Fletcher's water bottle and cell phone after she was abducted. DNA on those sandals matched Abston, and Abston was seen wearing them the night before Fletcher's abduction. An arrest affidavit for Abston also claims that his cell phone was found to be in the area of Central Avenue in Zach Curlin, where Fletcher was abducted. That was around the same time that the mother of 2 boys and St. Mary's teacher was kidnapped, according to police. He was previously charged with the aggravated kidnapping, which I said in June of 2020. He was sentenced to 24 years, but was eligible after release after 85% of his sentence was served. It's kind of crazy. Everything was kind of crazy with this whole case, you know? And you know, people did say it's going to disappear from the media because she was a white woman and he's a black dude. And I don't know whether it really will, because she's like an heiress. She's apparently super rich, or the heir to someone that's super rich. So maybe it will get, I mean, obviously it had national attention because she was kidnapped. It's not like she went missing. If she just went missing, we'd never hear about it. But because she was kidnapped and it was captured on camera and it was right by a college, that's why it garnished national attention right away. I mean, I remember waking up the day this happened and it was reported on my local news here that someone was, you know, kidnapped off of the streets. So that's crazy. Someone said we have it on 5 seconds to stop bots, blah, blah, blah. She said they fought back. The car was in the parking lot when it happened for a long time. They think they might have murdered her right after the abduction. Wow, that's crazy. But yeah, guys, go over to puretruthcoffee.com, buy a mega box. They are amazing. Matter of fact, you know what else is amazing? The commercial I made for that. Everyone else on Citizen Stringer, you guys are going to switch over to the riots of the night between the 5th and the 6th, which, unless you were up all night, you didn't watch this last night. And it starts off with action right away. So don't miss it. Everyone else, enjoy this commercial, and I will see you tomorrow. Well, hello there. My name is Steve, and I have something important to tell you. Consider it a public service announcement or whatever you want it to be. Did you guys know we have a coffee shop and a store and a bunch of other stuffs in an effort to try to be able to do everything we do here on the news side, right? Yeah, well, it's become that time of the month where we have just released our October pre-sale for our mega boxes. Now, let me tell you a little, you know what? Let me show you what a mega box looks like. As you can see here, you get some of the best t-shirts, some of the best hoodies, some of the best drinkware, 2 bags of the best damn coffee you've ever had. And guess what? There's more. One lucky winner wins a 55-inch flat screen TV. And for what's different than what we've done before, the October boxes, you get a double entry into our massive October 1st giveaway drawing, where we're giving away a trip for 2 nights to Key West, Florida. Yeah, we're doing it. Why? Because we can. Now, it's super simple. All you have to do is go over to puretruthcoffee.com, go over to the menu tab, click on Mega Box, add that sucker to cart. You might as well add some coffee too and all that good stuff. Add a t-shirt, add some stickers, whatever. And then check out. Here's the best part. There's so many best parts to the best part. You can also finance that sucker with Shop Pay, 4 easy payments. What are you waiting for? Go over to puretruthcoffee.com, pick yourself up a mega box. Now I'm fading to black because it's sick.